it's not that big a deal. I guess take that off the table. Like, okay, so you try and you fail. Like, if that doesn't don't let that paralyze you. Do it anyway, because then like the process of just getting there will open other doors.
Hello, everybody. I am Melissa Forziat of Take the Doughnut, here to help you get inspiration and get donuts. I'm a motivational keynote speaker, and today, I'm so excited. I'm bringing you a Take the Doughnut interview with Julie Alley. And Julie was a Survivor 45 Castaway and is a trust and wealth advisor for Pinnacle Financial Partners. Welcome, Julie.
So happy to be here. Thanks so much.
Oh, it's so good to see your smiling face and to have you in this conversation. And we're going to talk all about going after opportunity today. But first things first, I need to ask the obligatory question. What's your favorite donut?
I've thought long and hard about this. It should be an easy question, but it's hard for me because I love chocolate glaze. Like, that's your good basic one. But if I'm gonna have coffee, I want your old school. Like, I don't old fashioned, I don't even know, but the cakey ones that are a little bit crispy on the outside, a little bit cakey is kind of my go-to. Goodness, but then I could get into the apple fritters and stuff. I mean, I bake cupcakes myself, but I don't eat my cupcakes. I would eat a donut over that. Yeah, it would be those three. So if I had to pick one, that's what's so hard.
Well,
I don't
maybe
know.
you don't have to pick. Maybe we just get you all three.
Right. Let's just do all three. Let's do that.
That's amazing. So I said just a little bit about you to start us off, but tell us more about yourself. What should we know about you?
Oh goodness. What should we know about me? I guess Survivor is opened the door for me to have this conversation with you. So I was on Survivor 45. I loved it. Was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. But what else? I first and foremost, I'm a mom. I think my biggest accomplishment, which I can't even take credit for, are my kids, because they're just amazing humans. So my daughter is 24 and my son is 23, and love them more than anything. I also an attorney, very proud of that fact, because I went to law school at age 40, so that was late for me, and for most people. And currently, I work at Pinnacle Bank, which I am loving, and that was a switch after Survivor, and it's been amazing. And I'm actually I'm going back to school again. I'm getting certified in financial planning, getting my CFP, which is killing my brain, but I'm doing that. So I guess that's me. Always doing something. Always trying to take the donut.
Wow. I mean, I hopefully people are already seeing why you're exactly the right person to talk to today. So let me reset this for folks who haven't seen me do an interview before. What is Take the Doughnut all about? For me, it's another way of saying carpe diem. It all comes after this strange thing that happened to me in college where I left an actual donut on a table, but it became an object lesson for me and what it looks like when you leave an opportunity behind. So I don't want to do that anymore. I want to take the donut. And so that's what I say to myself. And so to that end, this conversation is all about what does it look like when we go after opportunities in life? Practically speaking, what does that really entail? And clearly, you have some wisdom to share in this area. So let's start with this question. How are you with going after goals in your own life? What is that process like for you?
So I am I a split between an introvert extrovert, which is I do need my own time to recharge, but goodness gracious, I'm an external processor. So for me, I I try to narrow it down to maybe three people that I go to on bouncing ideas, but I can start at 20. I'm like, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? I love that. And I process, but I'm always on the search, which I think we all are on the search for meaning. What is my meaning? And that looks different for all kinds of people. So in my life, I've had a hard time with wanting to stay home with my kids, but need to make money. I became a muralist because I started doing murals in the nursery where my kids were. So that turned into a career where I could keep my kids to kind of keep teaching. And then 2008, that hurt with the economy. And I started teaching art classes out of my home because that's what I could do. And then I became a nanny. So I guess in my life, what does it look like? I think necessity has always fostered it. I'm not someone to just sit and say, for me, take care of me. I say, okay, here's a problem. How are we going to do it? So I think I'm a hustler. Like, and that was, which got me on Survivor. To be fair, I was like, let's go. I want this. I'm going to go after it. And I kept going after it and I got on Survivor. And I loved my time on Survivor. So that was amazing. And I'm still feel like I'm doing it. So to answer your question is I do it. Like I do bounce off. I still remember a hard crossroads in my life was going through mediation with my husband. And it was a long process. But that's when I know I was going to be an attorney. They thought that I was the new associate in their office. And I thought, me at age 39, a new associate? Why not? So in me bouncing ideas, like in the middle of it, I called my mom who was watching my kids at the time. And she's like, how's mediation going? I said, I'm going to be an attorney. And she said, yes, you are. And that was it. Then I did it. So I guess it's with those people in your life that you got to trust and you say, is this stupid or is this bad? Like, do I do it? Do I not? But like, I'm constantly doing it. So who knows? I think I've had a lot of ideas that I bounce off and they're like, no, don't. But I'm like, I guess I just keep going and I keep trusting the people around me and I just do a lot.
I mean, a million follow-up questions came for me from that, but I just am so interested by the fact that you went in as a client and they thought you were an associate.
Right?
I mean, I think
Yeah.
it's moments like that that really put a
Yes.
light bulb on in your brain where you're like,
Yes.
maybe everybody else knows something that I should start thinking about, like, wow.
Yes. Yes. Even while I was in law school, I taught art classes and did my art career because it was night law school. My kids were at home. So it was, it was a lot. But I'm thinking, I'm going to be an attorney. And what am I going to have on my resume? Art teacher? Like I ran my own business. I feel like I could market myself. But I found one of my really good friends' father was an attorney, and I pestered the heck out of him. It was email upon email, and let me file for you. Let me come to your office and file for you. Let me get in there. You don't have to pay me. Like I just need to get experience. So it was a light bulb moment of, oh my gosh, I should go work there. And once that light bulb turns on for me, I don't stop. So it's those moments that I'm like, no, I'm going to make this happen, which I did. Fabulous, worked all through. And then after I graduated and was an amazing firm, amazing people. And that's kind of where I made that happen. So it is the minute that light bulb goes on, just seize it. Take the donut.
So it sounds like you do that, but then you also said a really interesting expression in there too, like then you don't stop. So let's talk about the not stopping part, because some of these things that you've gone after are quite big things that take time to get there and a lot of effort.
Yes.
So what keeps you motivated in that process?
100% my kids. I think you do need to have something that's going to make you keep going. And even, which was a hard thing because I think a lot of times, I don't want to make generalizations, but I found myself as a mom wanting to put my kids first. So for me to have a personal goal and to put me first, but it honestly wasn't. It was, how do I put my kids first? And all I could think is, I don't want my kids to feel sorry for mom. I'm single. I wanted them to be, and I was teaching art classes, which they had to help me with. Like that was a hard, in my mural career, it was it was a lot process. And I was like, okay, I need more of a steady job, something that could pay the bills. And I was like, law school can do that for me. I wanted my kids to go to college, away from home, go out and never be like, but I need to stay home and take care of mom. Like that was my motivation to be like, I'm going to do this. And I want to make them proud of me. I'm like, how do I set that example of do it. So even though it was night classes and I'm having to leave them, and I'm having to make dinner and be like, hey, teach yourself how to microwave. Hey, you've got this, checking in with them during. So it felt like I was leaving them and choosing me, but in the long haul, I was choosing them. Because I was like, hey, you be you and do this. And they're constantly my motivation. I'm like, what's next? How can I say, hey, I'm 50 now. I'm 50 years old. And I'm like, my life is so much better than when I was their age. Like, I just am like, I want to give them hope and show them it doesn't stop and life keeps being okay. Even though they will tell you a pessimist. I'm like, hey, the world is hard. It's a tough place. Bad things happen, but still you can turn lemons into lemon cupcakes. Like, cause it's my thing. I bake, but I'm like, let's do this. So they're my motivation, 100%.
Oh, wow. Now, a lot of times when we need motivation, it's because there are obstacles that come up along the way. And, challenges come up in life. And whether we want them to or not, for you, is there any specific brand of challenge that just keeps rearing its head for you? Maybe like your particular Achilles heel?
Well, that's interesting. I do feel like I continue, well, I mean, like I took on this certified financial planning course and it's a challenge. It keeps working my brain that I'm like, it's not as elastic as it used to be. Like I keep having to learn information, but I think I kind of lean towards the challenges that do challenge that. I'm trying to think of something that, I mean, I feel like in going through challenges, you do just keep having to create a community to help you get through. And that's what it is for me. I love being self-sufficient. I want to be able to take care of myself. I don't want to need help. But my continual things that I do takes a village for me to get through. So even though my goal is self-sufficiency, I've created a community to help me get through it. Like I needed family and friends to get through law school and take care of kids and be a single mom while doing all that. I needed my village to get me to leave for Survivor and to take care of my life while I was gone. So so in every career choice or challenge. And I think that's just a testament of which it's fun. Like if you watch my season of Survivor, if you see me, um, my alliance that I created, like we lasted to like, I don't know if there's been a 4-person alliance that was as tight as we were, but I'm like, that feels like it echoes my life. I was like, to get through, you need a team. So that's how I've managed it. So I think that's a recurring theme with all of my challenges. It's like, no, I'm going to do this. And then I'm like, oh, but I need
But with
all
of
of
you.
but guess what? We're all going to do this. We're all going to do this. So I feel like it was like a collective. Like when I graduated, when I passed the bar, I didn't do that alone. Like one of my classmates, we met every single day. Like it was still a team, even though we hardly even spoke because we just studied for the bar, but that was team. So I think that, and that's what's funny. That's what I brought to Survivor. I was like, hey, this is a single person, one person wins, but it takes a team to get there. So that just echoes my life.
Oh, what an interesting conundrum.
Right?
All right. It's so funny how that happens. So if you look back at your life, personally, professionally, what would you say is the biggest donut you've ever taken?
That's a great question. The biggest donut, it's hard to line that up because I'd love to say Survivor, but that was so I just knew I was going to be on. Like that was a guarantee, like which is crazy, but I'm like, no, I want this, so I'm going to go after it. I would have to say passing the bar, law school, even doing that. The fact that I'm an attorney, that you can say Julie Alley Esquire, and to start so late in life, I'm still kind of proud of that. It was not a small donut for me. That, and it was one that was 4 years, 5 years, including the bar. I mean, just with all of it, just to take it. So, but it's the ones that you put the most in that are the sweetest, right? Like that's a donut with sprinkles on top. Like that's one that you just go, that's worth taking. And those that put all your sweat and tears, do it. Like don't let those go by. Don't let all the negatives stop you. Don't be like, well, it'll take 4 years. It'll take this. It'll take that. all I could think is, when I'm 44, if I look back, would I be glad that I did this? So it was like, might as well, like, don't let time be an issue. So all of those, I put a lot of work on trying to get on Survivor, but I knew it was, I just felt it in my soul that that was it. And I didn't win Survivor. So that was, but I'm still proud of my game. I, there's too much luck that goes into it for me not to be proud of how I did out there. So that was great too.
Oh, amazing. You might have started to answer this previously, but is there a donut that's currently in progress for you? Something you're taking right now?
So getting my certified financial planning, that's a big one. That's like another year or so. Hopefully I can stay the course. And I don't know, but that's in the work area. So I don't know as far as life area. I'm still waiting for the light bulb. I don't know but I do know I'm going to say yes. Like what is that going to be? So I'm kind of excited about it. And I think that's what my past, even though I tend to be a pessimist, I still do know there's more out there. That's what's so fun. So I'm just ready. I'm just, yeah, waiting for that light bulb and then for me to go after it.
I mean, it's so inspiring. Now, there may be people who are listening to this who have a donut of their own that they want to take. Could be that it's still an ideation phase. They're just thinking about it. It could be that they've started and they're not quite sure how to move forward. So let's sprinkle some encouragement. And what would you say to those people who have a thing they want to do? They just don't know what the next step is.
Wow. If you don't know the next step, that's when you got to bring your people in. Bring your people in, but don't be afraid to bring people in. I get it. And sometimes you feel a little embarrassed. You're like, okay, this is kind of my idea. And do I go forward? Man, reach out to me. That's what I would say. I would tell you do it. 2 days ago, just had a girl say, hey, I just watched your season and now I'm going to apply to law school. I thought it was too late, but you've encouraged me. And I'm like, let's go. So I guess it's those that failure, it's not that big a deal. I guess take that off the table. Like, okay, so you try and you fail. Like, if that doesn't don't let that paralyze you. Do it anyway, because then like the process of just getting there will open other doors. So it's just keep taking the next step. Just keep reaching out, taking the next step. Don't look back and wish you had.
Oh, it's so well said. I mean, what is failure really? Sometimes it's the springboard to the next thing.
Absolutely. The true failure is not trying. Let's be honest. Like, just try. So, yes.
So for those of us who want to keep following your journey, or if there's somebody who does actually want to reach out to you, how can we find you? Where are you? What link should I put in the description?
Yeah, I do say that. I'm like, call me. I'm not going to put out my cell phone number. So I am not out there. I don't have Facebook. I'm not on TikTok. I am on Instagram. It's Mama J. And I'm just a little okay at it. But I'm at least there. And I luckily love my castmates, and usually they will post fabulous things that I can reshare, which they're very helpful about that. So I am on that. I'm always happy to encourage someone. So they're welcome to reach out to me on that.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, everybody be sure to check out those resources. And if you liked this video, be sure to like and subscribe because there's so many more inspirational interviews still to come. But in the meantime, thank you so much, Julie, for taking time and having this conversation and sharing your thoughts about going after opportunity in life.
Thank you. You are an inspiration. You really have, that you've done this and what you just to inspire and to say, take the donut. I think it's great. So thank you.
Well, okay, everybody. Between Julie and me, hopefully we've convinced you. You have to go out there, get inspiration, get donuts.
Do it.
Bye, everybody.